Hello my dolly dearies and welcome to another video. So today is a long awaited video for me. One of my favourite aesthetics is in fact steampunk, and I started to notice I'd not made many steampunk dolls. So today I decided I'm going to do one I've planned for a very long time. In my first ever doll lot, I got this cute little Rebecca Dracula Refusion steampunk doll, who I've had plans for but never quite got around to making. So I thought today would be the perfect time to bring a new steampunk cutie to life. My last steampunk doll was one of the first ever dolls I made, the steampunk mermaid pictured on my left. So let's see how far my doll making skills have progressed and get on with the video. Now for her design we're going to be going with one of the more recent sketches from my doll book. I had this small notebook and I did not know what to put in it, so I left it up to you guys on Instagram. I filled it with various sketches of ideas for dolls since it's the perfect size to carry around in my purse, and found the most recent sketch I had of our steampunk girl. This is the plan: bottles on her head, mechanical arms, the works. I've had her since my very first lot of dolls, so a good 5 years at least at this point. And the fact that she came with a missing arm and being a steampunk doll, it was an invitation for something fun to happen. To start, let's remove all of her manky hair. Taking a pair of sharp scissors, I clip the hair as close to the head as possible. Then to remove her face paint, I take some 100% acetone and use sweeping motions to remove the paint. And now we can prep her with a coat of Mr. Super Clear. To begin, I take some brown pastels, shoving them into the crevice of her eyes to create some darkness. Since I'm going with a kind of more dystopian, archaic steampunk, I want her to look quite gritty, so deep sunken eyes with lots of browns. Taking a small bit of pink, I add some colour to her cheeks, and a little bit of pink to her lips. After adding too much pastel, I can take a kneaded eraser to blend and blur it away. With all the pastels put on, I can take a sharp pink pencil and start sketching out her eyeline. For the sketch, I pick a colour which is close to her skin tone so that if I do make a mistake, it won't be very visible. Following the crease and markings of her eye mould, I sketch out the eyes, sketching in her pupils to be looking slightly to the side. I then go in with my very sharp pencil to add some darkness to her lip crease. And dot in her nostrils. After sealing in my sketch layer, I take a black pencil to start sketching in the outline of her eyes, giving her some dark and bold eyeliner. Taking the sharp black pencil again, I sketch in some eyebrow hairs very finely. I wanted her to look quite angry and disgruntled. Taking my black pencil, I start to slowly sketch out the outline of her iris, and I take my white pencil to brighten the whites of her eyes. Going back in with my pink pencil, I outline her lips and add in some base colour to them. Taking my white pencil, I add some highlights underneath her eyebrows and her cupid's bow. I did notice that she had some small pop rivets on her head, so to add more attention to these, I'm going to take some bronze paint. And with my smallest paintbrush, I lift up a small bit of paint and dot them on. I also noticed that they're in the shape of little hearts, which is the most adorable thing. With another layer sealed in, I take some pigment off my blue pencil with a damp paintbrush to make her eyes really pop. With more and more layers added, I use them to refine and sharpen my previous layers, defining the outside of her eyeliner to be really sharp, making the lines in her brows super fine, and making the whites of her eyes as bright as they can be. To get into some of the finer lines, I find it easy to take a super fine paintbrush and lift the pigment off the pencils. With the whites of her eyes done, I go about adding more detail and definition to her iris, using my white pencil to brighten up the blue that's already there. taking darker blues, I add some small circles to her eyes and darken her pupils. I add lines to her lips. But her face is looking pretty cute so far, right? I thought to add some shine for her eye highlights, I could paint them in with some silver paint, painting small stars and lines. I also thought about making her irises white, and to brighten this up I used white paint instead. She looks super sweet, right? But oh no, my can of Mr. Super Clear is out, nothing's coming out. Luckily, I have a backup can. It's always so satisfying to have the new can, isn't it? Here you can hear the difference between the two. One sounds much better than the other. But for this doll, I also thought I could make use of the paintings on her body and define the pop rivets and creases a bit more. To do this, I take my Citadel shade from old Warhammers, and with my finest paintbrush, I go in and gently decorate all of the creases. It looks absolutely awesome and took way longer than I thought it would. To seal this all in, I take some matte varnish and water it down and spread it across her entire body, and set her to dry. Everything is looking pretty awesome on this doll, isn't it? I also made her some quick earrings using some metal sequins and old nails. Time to reattach her head to the body. Now, we do need to decide what to do with her arm. But due to my crippling Coke addiction, we've always got a couple cans spare. But we can also get her hair going. I've got this beautiful dark brown, and with a bit of work and making a wig cap and some wefts, I've got everything I need. Peeling the wig cap away from the head, we've got what we need, and after gently gluing all the wefts on, we've got a pretty decent looking wig. Unfortunately, my SD card keeps running out of space, so it forgets certain clips. But with all of her hair made into a wig, we can take our scissors and trim the ends. As much as she is dystopian and punk, her hair can't be that straggly. But with her hair cut, we can get a bit more of a move on with this arm. I made a simple double hinge joint with some old nails, and it's all just two tubes secured together. But if we look into the doll parts box, we can see what we have in the way of hands. For hands, I've got two. The old Mini-Me hand, which broke off, and this old hand from another miscellaneous doll. The hand from the miscellaneous doll doesn't look half bad. With a bit of glue, it's secured in place. And it can still twist, which is very useful. But now onto the sewing. Using a modified trouser pattern from Moonlight Jewel Dolls, I take an old pair of my own jeans and modify them so that I can make them to teeny tiny doll jeans. They look pretty sweet, right? And gluing some small ribbons together, we've got some semblance of a shirt. But to make it look a bit cooler, we're going to see what we can do with my fabric scraps. And after gluing everything haphazardly together, we've got something which looks half decent. And it all looks pretty cool on the doll. A major benefit of doing a steampunk doll means never having to hem anything. But with her outfit very simply slapped together, we can get onto her boots. I wrap her feet in tinfoil and add some PVA glue to newspaper, wrapping them around the tinfoil cast on her feet. And here we have our two finished cast. Taking a bit of epoxy sculpt, we're going to add a teeny bit of detail. I add some toes, a rim, and secure two cogs in place on the back. And with them all dry, we can start taking them off her feet. I do this by making a small slit in the back of the boot. After pulling them off and trimming them, we've got something which looks halfway decent. And with a coat of paint, they are actually looking quite snazzy. But of course, it needs glitter. And bows. For a steampunk doll, she is turning out quite sweet. The shoes are pretty adorable, and the cogs and glitter just all go so nicely together, don't they? But now we can go about transporting the miscellaneous and torn apart bits of the outfit onto the doll. It looks pretty good, and we could end it here, but I feel she still needs a little more. To start off, I paint her arm in a metallic brown colour. This is using another Warhammer paint which takes much better to the metal than my normal bronze paint. And in my older Warhammer paint, I also found two really nice coppery colours. Taking a paintbrush, I shove this into all of the creases and gaps and blend it out with my fingers. But as stated, she's got to have that bottle headband. So we're going to be taking these two old glass bottles which used to be filled with glitter and making them into a headband. I also had the ingenious idea of making it light up. To do this, I simply took two LEDs and connected them up to a battery. I did find that this huge hulk of a battery did actually make my LEDs blow out. So instead I used a watch battery, and with a simple circuit we've got two adorable LEDs that light up. So linking them up to a bottle cap backpack with a bit of tape and gluing the bottles on top, we've got a headband which looks pretty steampunkish minus the colours. But of course we've got our nice bronze and green paints. So with a quick paint job, this should be looking much better. Honestly, I think the backpack is my favourite part of this doll. With the cogs and the green and everything about it is just so perfect to me. But with that, she's done. She's just adorable, isn't she? I've decided to call her Pandora. It kind of leads to mystery. Is she the one who started the cause of this dystopian world? Or why is she a cyborg? Tell me your ideas and thoughts about her story in the comments below. I'm really proud of her and all the detail that went into her, and especially the circuiting, especially because I definitely burnt myself a few times with the soldering iron, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe and share to make sure my pain wasn't all for nothing. Any support would be greatly appreciated. But as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you all in the next video. Bye!